What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react to proof that Americans have no idea how the world works. So, today, I want to take a look at some of these examples of a pretty big problem that a lot of Americans have, and that is many of us actually think that the United States is the only country that really matters, and that we are the greatest country in the world, and that everything should be exactly like us, which is obviously a terrible, horrible way of thinking and extremely egotistical, and it's bad, but it happens here. And so today, I really want to take a look at some of these things that my fellow Americans have actually said on the internet. And we're going to call it out. So let's take a look here. Starting with this is a Instagram post where somebody posted a picture saying, "My husband lifting the spear in Kyoto, Japan. It's 200 pounds. Oh my God." Okay, this is some kind of like tourist game or something, I guess, in Japan, where you try to lift a really, really heavy spear. That's kind of cool. And it's 200 pounds, which is very heavy. And somebody commented on this saying, "How heavy is that using normal measurement units? Normal? Around 90 kilograms." Oh, no. No! Okay. All right. Okay, so you guys are kind of ripping into us because we use the imperial measurement system and pounds and. Okay, the more normal thing to use would probably be kilograms, or at least this is actually a good one because this is something that confuses a lot of Americans. And a lot of us think that the rest of the world is like familiar with pounds and miles and inches, and which is strange because here in the US in school we actually learn a little bit about the metric system, especially in science classes and stuff. And I understand that like most of the world uses the metric system, right? And we are weird for using pounds. All right, fine. So they say, "How heavy is this in normal units? 90 kilograms." Fine, I guess that's more normal. And then someone responded saying, "Normal equals American, not kilogay." What? Oh my God. What is this? Are you kidding me? Nice. Nice, man. Good one. Very funny. Very clever. Was this guy like, is this like a 6-year old? What is it? Is he in like third grade? How do you spot the American in the comments? They sound like they're a little kid. That's how. Oh my. So this American actually got mad that people were commenting saying, 200 pounds, what is that in like normal units, like 90 kilograms? This American actually got upset about that and said, normal equals American. That's exactly what I'm talking about. This is such a good example of like Americans think the way we do things needs to be everywhere. What we do is normal. What we do is no. This is a, and yeah, I would actually think more like more Americans would actually realize that, especially with measurements, we are behind. We don't use metric. We are weird for that. Instead, we're just getting mad and saying kilogay instead of kilogram. Good one. Very good. Somebody commented on that saying, this is what not having free healthcare does to people. Okay. All right, I get it. Probably. Yeah. We can't afford to get our brains fixed, I guess. Oh my God. Okay, we're just getting ripped up and down in this discussion. But it's funny. What the Americans said there, that is so, so dumb. Oh my God. And so backwards, too. Anyway, this is a Twitter post. This is a long conversation. I guess we're just jumping into this discussion. At the top, it says James said, how did the IRS track who needed to pay what before card technology? You people are effing stupid. What? Why are we getting so mad? Again, how do you spot the American in the comment? Because they're mad about something dumb. That's what I'm seeing here. Jeez, we need to like settle down, especially since we're like wrong about a lot of this stuff. That's a bad combination, being really mad and wrong. Anyway, we're talking about the IRS, which is the Internal Revenue Service here in the United States. That's our tax government agency. They calculate how much you owe in taxes. So this person's saying, how did they do that before cards? And then someone responded saying, we don't have the IRS in Australia. So perhaps it's not me who is stupid. Stupid. Boy. So this American was making like a general broad statement, like, how did we all calculate taxes without the IRS? Okay, dude, the IRS, that's an American government agency. They seem to think that that is everywhere. Well, then the American responded saying, Australia apparently doesn't collect taxes. No. Just because Australia doesn't have the IRS doesn't mean they don't do taxes. Oh my God. Oh man. This is like something I heard a few weeks ago when I was looking at some other stupid posts like this, where there was an American who thought that our laws and our Constitution applies everywhere in the world. It's the same sort of thing. Like, why do Americans think this? Why do we think our stuff applies everywhere? Like our government. It only it only has jurisdiction here in the United States. Just because Australia doesn't have the US IRS agency doesn't mean they have their own stuff. How do we not realize other countries have their own stuff going on? I think that's what I'm trying to say here. The Australian responded saying, we do collect taxes, but we don't have the IRS, moron. That's a very blunt way of putting it, but I think that they deserved it. And then finally, the American has to have the last word. He comes in and says, you have an IRS equivalent, and since the USA is the standard, there it is. There it is right there. That's what we've been waiting for. The magic words. The USA we're the normal. We're the standard. Says who? Which is also hilarious on a different level, because most Americans have no idea how any other country runs or operates, or we don't know anything about other governments, or certainly not taxes, and yet we have the audacity to comment things like this, like, you have an IRS equivalent. It's based on our system. It is based on the US standard. Like, what? You're just saying things. It doesn't mean it's true. You're just on the internet saying things. That's how people refer to it. I'm not going to memorize the acronyms of tax agencies in foreign countries. And you trying to use this as a gotcha is peak midwit behavior. Go F yourself. Just lovely conversation by the American there, making us all proud, making us all look great. Horrible. And it's funny because they're getting mad, whereas they're the ones who look stupid here. They're getting mad like, don't try to make me look dumb. I understand all this. No, you don't. You really don't. And yeah, I don't think anybody's going to pay you any more attention than that. So you had your 2 seconds there. This is. Oh, this is another, like, this has to do with Australia again. Okay. Melbourne. I think this is Instagram. It says Melbourne where? Victoria, Australia, or Florida? United States? What? So someone was asking about Melbourne, and then this American comments saying, which Melbourne? Somebody, there's only one Melbourne. Let's be completely honest here. The only one that everybody knows. We're obviously talking about Australia. Obviously. Like, that's like saying London. Which London? Like London, Ohio? US? London, England? Is that the one you meant? Obviously. Why are people like pretending not to understand? I don't. So this is a strange thing to say. Somebody commented, or someone responded, saying, when someone mentions Melbourne, it's never Florida. Yes, thank you. Yes. Australia. That's... I don't know what this American was even... what their point was. Like, they think... They just want the U.S. to have attention. Like, Melbourne? Huh, where, in the US? No, the gigantic, huge city in Australia that everyone knows about? That one. Why are you, what? What are we doing here? What is this? Okay, this is a Twitter post, or X post, says, unpopular opinion, but the right to vote shouldn't be automatic. Oh boy. It should require passing a basic test on economics, finance, history, and how laws and public policy actually work. If you pass this test, you get to vote. If you fail, you don't. This could be a whole philosophical discussion. I'm not going to get into all that. This is definitely like a little controversial. I understand the sentiment. Like, if you get to vote, if you vote, ideally you're informed about all the decisions and policies, because you're making an important decision. No matter where you vote, anywhere in the world, it's important, and it's important that you understand what you're voting for. That Americans need to learn that lesson the most, honestly. We elected Donald Trump twice. So, yeah, maybe this should be the law in the U.S., but they're just trying to say if you vote, you should be more educated, but also, like, you gotta let everyone have access to voting, I think. And anyway, it's a reasonable discussion to have there. Somebody responded saying, how about you become an American citizen, take an American civics class about the American government, and earn it? Talk is cheap when you live in Spain. What? Whoa. What's happening? Why? Again, spot the American here. Why are they getting so mad? So angry? Like, calm down. For one thing, who said we were talking about the United States? So, okay, this is an American jumping into like a philosophical discussion about voting everybody could talk about, and making it an American issue. Like, America is the only place that votes. So if you want to talk about voting, go to become a U.S. citizen, take a class, and earn the right. You can't talk about this if you're Spanish. Are we serious right now? That's how lost we are. We think voting is something that only happens in the United States. I mean, that's what it seems to me that this American is basically saying. Why? And again, why are we jumping in? Why are we jumping in saying this nonsense? So angry. Like we come across as crazy, quite honestly. Like even as an American, I think we're coming across as like loony, out of our mind. So this is a Twitter post where someone said, after 1 year at university, this is the definitive tier list of grocery stores? Because I recognize Tesco. That's in the UK. Oh, there's Aldi. Most of this stuff I actually don't recognize. So this is like ranking grocery stores. I don't know if this is in Europe, European grocery stores, but that's interesting. I don't know most of these. Someone responded saying, they have Aldi in Wales. Oh, this is Welsh. Is it? I think. Anyway, they said they have Aldi in Wales. I thought that that was an American thing. Oh, that's actually kind of funny to me. Wow, apparently Aldi exists outside of the United States. Who knew? Um, to be honest, I actually. All right, I'll admit it. Aldi, there's quite a few Aldi locations in the United States now, and I thought this was just some new American grocery store chain. Now I know this is like German, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe they're all over the world, but a lot of Americans don't realize that Aldi isn't even from the United States, right? I didn't know that for the longest time, I have to be honest, but I don't go on the internet saying stuff about it, but I could have made the exact same mistake. I would have, yeah. So, eh, I kind of relate to that one. Uh, this says gas station. Okay, and okay, it's a gas where? Petro Canada. This is Canadian gas. It looks a lot like an American gas. It says Petro Canada. Okay. Someone responded to this photo saying, LOL, what were you actually filling to rack up 70 gallons? What? And then someone responded that saying it was in liters. Oh my God. The American thinks they bought, well, for one thing, it's 57. They thought that was 57 gallons, because again, in the United States, we measure in gallons, which would be an insane amount of gas to put in anything. That'd fill up many cars. So this American thought it was 50 or 70 gallons, and they're like, LOL, what did you? This, honestly, this is just an example of how Americans don't bother to read, right? The first thing I did was like read. Right on this, it says Petro Canada twice, and right under the numbers, it says liters. It literally says liters right there. So, I mean, this isn't the worst offense that I've seen today, but I think we have to be a little more, aware. Like actually, just before you start asking questions and making accusations, why are you filling up 70 gallons of? Look at the picture. It literally says liters right there. But yeah, bad, not the worst. Some of these were very bad, actually, like very. But all in all, entertaining. And I'm glad we kind of set the record straight on some of this stuff. So there you have it. Some of the dumbest things, really proof that Americans do not understand how the world works. That is for sure. That is for sure. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on any of these stupid things Americans have actually posted. Um, and if you're interested in more videos like this, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.